Aloha, Sharks fans. Welcome to the season premiere of Sharks Weekly, your inside look at Hawaii Pacific University athletics, right here on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, FM 95.1 and AM 760. We're live from HPU Esports Arena, powered by DSE Hawaii, and it's only fitting we start the year with HPU women's soccer. The Sharks are kicking off a new era under head coach Connor Artigue, who made his debut against Division I South Dakota State in an exhibition on Monday. Joining him today are two of the program's senior leaders, Justice Valdez and Kalea Ajel. Big shout out to our in-studio producer today, Paul Brett, keeping us on track. How are you doing today, Paul?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be back for another full year of we're learning about Sharks programs. I'm excited about who we've got here today because they're a seemingly pretty fun group, right? Anybody who saw our social media or your social media as well got an introduction. So if that's only the start, I'm very excited for what we can get into here today.
Yeah, and this team's definitely got a different energy about them this year. And hey, if you guys have any texting questions, please feel free to text them in at 808-888-5481, and we'll get to as many as we can throughout the show. So, Coach, let's start with you. How was your first game, and how did it feel to be back on the field as a Shark?
It was amazing, to be honest. Well, first of all, thank you for having us today. This is exciting. First game back, to be honest, something I've been thinking about for a very long time. I think since the first time I left HPU after being the men's assistant, I'd always envisioned that first day, that first game. I was really curious how I would feel that morning, if it was going to be full of anxiety, but honestly, I was just excited. No doubts. We had done all the preparation possible, and it just felt some relief to have the first one done, and just very proud of the team, their effort. We worked really hard to get to that day, and it was a great showing of kind of what we have to offer and how far we can go this year.
And let's talk a little bit about the preparation that you guys have done behind the scenes. You brought in a bunch of new coaches. Mm-hmm. So can you explain each one and their roles and how that helps the team as well?
Yeah, definitely. So that was very intentional. I think in the past we've had a coaching staff of 2 or maybe 3. In my previous businesses or things I was a part of, having a larger staff just provides more resources for the players. So very intentional. We promoted our returning assistant coach, Sarah Inafuku, to Director of Operations. We brought in Noelani Bayo, who is a local coach, grew up on Maui playing soccer, a great figure here with girls soccer, 3-time OIA high school coach of the year. So fantastic voice. We had known each other from a U.S. soccer coaching course. So I always kind of had her in the back of my mind that she was the one that take that role. Besides that, some very specialized additions. Thomas Aoki, he's going to be our volunteer goalkeeper coach. He specializes in like speed and agility. So he'll help with player recovery and just getting up to the college level. And then finally was Mariah Santiago. That's something unique. She comes with a background of kinesiology and like mental health. So she'll be providing mindset training and something a little different that I honestly don't have an expertise in. And so I wanted to bring people that can help them in ways that maybe I couldn't.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that you've really knocked off each area. I think mental health right now is a big thing, especially in women in sports. And going to you guys, Justice and Kalea, sorry. How does this season feel different than it has in the past? Justice, we'll start with you.
I think it feels really great to have the resources we have, the coaching staff we have, and just the whole energy going into it. I think it's way more positive. Everybody's really welcoming and just want what's best for each other. So I think that's a big intake for us.
What about you, Kalea?
Yeah, no, to piggyback off of Justice, I think this is the closest that this team has ever been with each other and with the coaches. So I think we're just all really excited for this new season.
Yeah. And what have you done, Coach, to kind of foster that? You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that just happens overnight. And you guys have only had a week of practice, right?
Seriously, yeah. So a lot of it just came with preparation and organization, kind of knowing how I wanted to approach this season. And then honestly, I think the biggest thing that they need to see from me is just my work ethic, how much I care, how much I want it, and then they can just follow me, right? And I've been very lucky to have these two to be along my side and to be leaders. They've been fantastic, like incredible young women that have a great future, and it's been a pleasure to work with you two. It's been awesome.
And let's
Thank
talk a
you.
little bit about the first game. What was your thoughts? You already explained your thoughts going into it. What was your thoughts afterwards and kind of seeing, okay, like here's the groundwork, here's how we're going to build off of that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a major risk playing a Division I team after 5 practices. That team has a month together. They had 15 wins last year in D1, NCAA tournament team. Like, it was a massive undertaking, and it could have backfired. But I'm so happy we took on the challenge. I think it showed resilience and the grit and everything that we talked about leading up to the game. And then afterwards, just set a foundation of what we can build on for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
In terms of like our effort, our defensive work rate, it was fantastic. Like to only concede 2 goals in that match is amazing.
And your freshman goalkeeper, man,
Oh,
she
man,
was.
Sky.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Like I'm sure she was nervous, right? You guys had brought in another goalkeeper that had gotten hurt.
Yeah, so we did have a Division I transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, like tragically, on day 2 of practice, broke her ankle at training. Non-contact, just a fluke, terrible thing. But we then had Sky, who I knew going in was going to be a solid keeper and compete for time. But oh man, is she just taking the reins? And it's her position right now.
Yeah.
And I think she's showcased that first day. She's full of confidence, and that's self-driven by her. And I'm just there, and we're there to help her support on the field and off the field. It's not easy.
And you guys being as team captains, how are you like changing your locker room? Is there anything specific you guys do before the games that kind of like bumps that energy up? Because you guys were filled with a lot of energy that game, and I loved watching it. So what is something that you guys do before it? Maybe locker room talk or?
You want to take this one?
Honestly, I think it's just the girls that we brought in, their energy is just so high coming in. They're hungry. They want it. We all want it. And it's just us being there in this space together. We feel very connected. And I think that connectedness really helps this team just keep our energy up, encouraging each other, pushing each other. And it's a type of support that we needed. And it's amazing.
Yeah, I also think when we do speak to each other, it's very intentional and we care. Whether we're being constructive or just joking around with each other, we take it in a way where like we love each other. It's coming from a good place, and we all get along so well that it was easy translating that onto the field because we have such a bond already.
Yeah, you guys can definitely see that chemistry that you have built in such a short amount of time, and it just is so exciting to see that go into Pac West play. And you guys are about to travel to Humboldt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are you guys excited? First road trip, senior years?
So
Yeah,
excited.
so excited.
Is there, well, what are you guys most excited about?
I think traveling with this group alone, like it's already such a fun group, and to be able to have these preseason trips is a good plus for us. I think this is where we can truly like bond on road trip with these many games, quick turnaround. I think it'll be really fun to just see a different aspect of everybody.
Right. And we're also playing teams that we haven't faced yet. So it's going to be challenging. But I think with this group, it's not going to be too difficult. I think we're going to be there for each other, and we'll make the best out of it.
Coach, just to hop in here, I was curious kind of what your mindset is when it comes to the preseason, the non-conference, before you get into Pac West play. Kind of, how do you look at this portion of the schedule? How much experimenting do you do going into it? How much of it is trying to figure out what you can get nailed down before actual conference play?
That's a great question. I mean, going into this Humboldt game, I think we're all hungry. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would love that first goal, that first win as a new coach. I mean, I'm still in the back of my mind, right? But I think the mindset has to be that we are just improving every single day. And we've done it since day one. I think that trip to Humboldt would be a real test for us in terms of our culture. And also, I just want to see continued development. I think in this last match against SDSU, we were kind of the passenger in long phases of the game, with and without the ball, because they were so strong. What I want to see for us in these next 3 matches is us being in the driver's seat, us being the ones that are making them adjust based off how we want to play. So for me, we've set a fantastic foundation. It's now, how can we improve so when Pac West play comes in a very strong conference, that we are not only competitive, but we're pushing for a title this year.
And the Pac West Conference is supposed to be one of the stronger conferences, right, when it comes to soccer?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the top 25 D2 teams in the country, 3 of them are represented from the Pac West.
Yeah.
But we're ready. I think the only way for us to get better is to play these great teams. I wouldn't want it any other way, and we're looking forward to it.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. Hawaii Pacific University Athletics is sponsored by Suihiro Electric. At DSC Hawaii, we are dedicated to consistently providing work in the most efficient manner. With over 3 decades of experience and expertise in the electrical industry under our belt, we have worked tirelessly to ensure that our performances represents our company mission, providing customer care. Stick with us. When we come back, we'll talk about the culture being built under a coach and how Justice and Kalea are shaping the identity of this year's Sharks team.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Sharks Weekly on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Still joined here by Coach Connor, seniors Justice Valdez, and Kalea Ajel. Coach, let's talk a little bit more about the culture. What do you want HPU women's soccer to be known for?
That's a good question. I think from the moment I was brought on, the culture was the first thing that we had identified that needed to be corrected or just put in a new direction. I think even in like the interview process of me applying for this position, we talked a lot about culture, right? So I'm happy to say I have a great history of having strong cultures in the environments I'm in. And then coming here, we were very intentional. That was the first thing that we needed to focus on. Like I mentioned before, a lot of it comes just from, I hope they can see my example of just this daily pursuit of excellence is what we call it. But also, I think collectively, coming up with what we want our culture to be. If they're just listening to me of what I think it should be, there's not enough authenticity there. So I think the first thing we did in that first week was identify, how did we want to treat each other? How did we want the season to go? How do we go through adversities, which we've already faced? And so we identified those, we discussed them, and I think you can see already it's working.
Yeah, definitely. And I kind of was eavesdropping when you're coaching, but just seeing the way that you're talking to them is totally different. And it's more so you see that level of respect, and you see that they respect you as well. So I love that you're doing that as well. Let's talk a little bit about your roots here, because it's not like you're not from here, but you kind of are. So can you tell us a little bit more about your involvement in the soccer community?
Yeah, absolutely. I would never say I'm from here, but I do feel at home here.
Yeah.
I moved to Hawaii originally in 2014. My wife Jessica and I, we opened a after-school soccer program. So immediately we were involved in the community, relationships with lots of different schools and parks and kids, while still coaching competitively, doing private trainings. I was a director of coaching out here, a scout for the Seattle Sounders. Spent the last 2 years in San Diego, really improving my coaching style and kind of how I want to approach the game. I had fantastic mentors out there. But then the opportunity came to come back, and I had been missing Hawaii, been missing the people mostly. And so the welcoming back was fantastic. And I felt, just right at home right away.
Well, we're glad to have you,
Thank you.
part of our team, definitely. Justice, from a player's perspective, how do you help bring that culture that Coach just talked about onto the field and every day at practice?
I think a big thing is that our focus is really like togetherness and being a team. And Connor shows us from like his perspective of how he cares about us, but we also show it within each other and how much we care care about each other, and we do have a lot of respect for each other. I think early on in the season, one of the first things coach told us was that it's a we greater than me mindset, and it's not about like everything we're doing individually, but it's a team sport. We need to work for each other, and whatever that may be, we're always going to ride or die for each other. And it's not only just individually, our team, our community, our school, but for the island, and just doing what we can on and off the field to be one.
I love that. And you said something super important. It's for the island. It's not for you guys self. It's for, I love that. And Kalea, how do you hold your teammates accountable, right? You guys talked about a lot about love and stuff like that. So accountability is the next thing as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. So I think a big thing for me is leading by example, not expecting them to do anything that I wouldn't do, and really just implementing what Coach has been preaching to us, and trying to keep an open communication with them, let them know I've been in their shoes, kind of relating to them. And I want to be that older sister, leading them, mentoring them, just implementing that togetherness that Justice was talking about, and to show that being there for each other is greater than anything else on this team.
And Coach, you have a lot of new players on your team as well. So how do you integrate that with these two?
I mean, I lean on them quite a bit. I think for how busy we are as a small program and a new coach, I've really had to rely on them to be the right example. It's kind of a fun game I have every day to see if I can beat these two to practice, because they're there 45 minutes early. 45 minutes, and that's not, I mean, our standard is 30, so they are setting the standard for us, for everybody. But if I can beat them to practice, I know it's tough. But to be honest, it's been I think that they're an extension of my voice, that they help us on the field every single day. And again, just very proud and happy. I think I knew in the spring we had done some one-on-one meetings with everybody, and everyone showed this desire to improve the group. These two really showed the hunger and the motivation to be a part of that change. Yeah. And I knew it right away. And there are others that are helping along the way, but I definitely made the right choice with these two captains.
And this might be a little bit of a controversial question, but what's been your biggest surprise so far going into season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's any secret. This is my first time coaching a women's team. Mm-hmm. So for me, I wondered what the adjustment would have to be. But I come from a teaching background. My parents are teachers. My sister's a teacher. So for me, I've really just had the same mindset that I can just be myself. And the biggest surprise, and maybe it shouldn't have been, is how hungry they are to learn and for competition. Like in practice, we don't have to hold back. In fact, they are asking for more every day. So that's exciting for me, because it's that if you have that already from a group of players, then you can go really far.
Yeah. And I don't think that just comes from them. I think it comes from you laying that foundation, right, as well. And you didn't mention, what's been the biggest change between men's and women's for you that you think?
Ooh, that's a good question.
While they stare at you.
Be careful.
No, to be honest, there really isn't. I think honestly they're faster to grasp the ideas. So I think like tactically they're hungry, and I don't know, and this is maybe a negative part of youth women's soccer, is they don't always get the first choice of coaches. So I want to be someone that they can continue to learn from in college. A lot of college programs, it's what can the player do for that team? What can that player do for the coach to help them win that day? I don't agree with that. I think it needs to be, how can I help them? I never want to be anyone's hardest coach. I want to be a coach that they work the hardest for. And so hopefully that happens. And so far it has worked.
I love that. And then Justice, going off of what Coach just said, your guys' goals. Do you guys have any individual goals, team goals that you guys have put in place?
We have some goals that we've put in place, and I think one of the big things for everybody is we want to win, but we know success isn't measured by winning. It's going to be a process every day and every month and every game, every practice. Like, we're going to push to be the best to our ability every day. And I think ultimately, like, going into my last season, I want to just max out on everything. I want to give it my all, and I want that to influence them to do the same. And so we're just battling it out together and for each other.
I love how you put that. What about you, Kalea? Any individual goals or anything that you really want to achieve in your last season as a senior?
Yeah, I think just being a senior leader, being that senior that they remember after we leave, that they know that they can look up to and come to even afterwards, and ask for advice and check up on us check up on them. I think just leaving that impact on this team after we leave.
Yeah, and creating that bond, right?
Yeah.
And I guess what's something unique, chemistry-wise, for this team compared to the other teams that you guys have both been on in the past?
I think this team especially, it's definitely a family kind of vibe where we might not like each other all the time, but we truly do love each other, and whether we're joking around with each other or we need to be strict, and it's more constructive, but everybody knows it's coming from a place, like a good place and from our heart. So I think it's definitely family-like.
What about you, Kalea?
Yeah, I think it's just the respect that we have each other, the respect that we have for each other's time and commitment, and that we all know that we worked so hard to be here and that we need to continue to work hard to reach our goals. So.
And going off of family, Coach, you have been cooking for these girls all, right?
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, literally.
What is your guys' favorite thing that he's cooked for you guys so far?
Our breakfast burritos, those were fire.
Thank you.
I think the barbecue sticks, those were
so good.
But that's where it starts, right? It starts with family.
Yeah, I mean, I think building that trust and those bonds is super important to be the first thing, because on game day, like, the competitiveness is so high that we are speaking to each other in a very rushed, like aggressive way sometimes, but they have to know that the trust and bonds and love is there first. And so, yeah, maybe that's my love language is cooking for people.
Perfect. We'll eat it.
Coach, when did the cooking start? Have you always been a cooking guy? Just curious about this.
Actually, so my wife is a professional pastry chef.
So you picked up some stuff through osmosis, is what I'm hearing.
She's a little jealous of all the attention that I'm cooking for a much larger family now. But no, I think that was something that's passed down from my family. A lot of family get-togethers and everything, and that's really where people can kind of open up and just talk story outside of the soccer field.
Gotcha. And then just a reminder that you can text in, listeners can text in 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481. And let us know what you guys want to hear about. Do you want to hear more about Coach's, cooking expertise? Maybe you have some questions about the HPU culture or something else, but we've got much more still to come.
And we're going to take a quick commercial break. Hawaii Pacific University Athletics is sponsored by Pepsi Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Pepsi, create more smiles with every sip and every bite. Coming up next, we'll hear more from Justice, Kalea, about life as student athletes and the fun side of being part of this Sharks program, right here on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
All right, we're back on Sharks Weekly with Coach Connor and his two players, Justice and Kalea, talking all things HPU women's soccer. So, Justice, let's start with you. You're majoring in public health, right? How is that? And how is that the classes and then going and playing? How is that? How do you juggle that is my question.
First, I really enjoy public health, and it's not a super heavy workload, but it's obviously a lot of work academically while being an athlete. But for me, I think it's easy to juggle that because I'm individually just an organized person as it is, which is very helpful when Connor is also very organized, and I mean like to the T. And we have this team app called Team Snap where all of our games, practices, events, just everything's right in the open and very organized. So I can keep track of everything sports while on my own I'm doing all my academics. So it's fairly easy. Well, I can handle it. I think. Yeah. It might be a lot, but I can handle it.
I think you might need to give a lesson on how to be organized to our other coaches, Connor.
Oh, you got it. You should look at my calendars.
Yeah. So, Kalea, let's talk a little bit about your major, psychology, right?
Yes.
How is that?
It's amazing. Have been loving it since freshman year. I think I decided to go psychology with the intent of doing something mental health related. I think I'm a very big advocate for mental health, and I eventually want to do sports psychology down the line. But that might be a little bit after I graduate. But the professors have been amazing here and very supportive of me being an athlete and understanding that it takes a lot, and they kind of like help me out a bit. So it's good.
And let's talk a little bit after graduation. You had mentioned the Air Force as a possibility.
Yes, so that's kind of the plan right now, is once I graduate, hopefully commission as an officer. I would love to do something medical, but honestly, whatever the Air Force needs, I am down to do it.
And let's talk a little bit about your other sports, right? You didn't just play soccer.
Right. In high school, I did cross country, track, a little bit of basketball freshman year. Actually, basketball was my first sport growing up. My dad was my coach, and I think that's where I get a lot of my resilience and grit and work ethic from. Just from him pushing me, even though he was the coach, he made me earn every minute that I played, and I think that's helped me in the long run now.
So why soccer?
My older sister played soccer first, and I think I have a big family, so I have 5 siblings, and I looked up to her always. I still do, and she inspired me to continue playing soccer. I just loved her work ethic and how she carried herself and how it made her feel, and I wanted to do that, but in my own way. And I think soccer has always been my passion. You have used the other sports to keep me in shape for soccer, but soccer's always been my love.
And Justice, let's talk a little bit about when you guys start going on road trips. How are you going to help the underclassmen and maybe these new freshmen, right, but hold them accountable for their studies?
I think they might get a little distracted thinking that road trip means only soccer, but for our team especially, we strive for a high GPA, which I think we ranked, 3rd with the highest GPA. So we really focus on that, and we have our own study hall sessions. So we make sure everybody's getting their work done before we have play. So I think just making sure that they stay on top of their studies, and then we can ball out on the field.
Student athlete, right? Student comes first.
Right.
And then coach, what is it like seeing your 2 leaders? They obviously have taken on a really big leader position. How does it feel for you seeing them take on these big positions?
It makes me really proud, to be honest. And to talk about Kalea's basketball, she did beat me in our first game of knockout too, which I haven't forgiven her, and I can't wait for a rematch. And I think you beat me in the half court shooting contest too. I never actually got one in. But yeah, to watch them lead has been amazing. It's they've done a lot on their own, to be honest. They're natural leaders, and they've helped in probably more ways than they realize what they're doing. I think just to be a fall sport, and we have such a big freshman class, 11 freshmen, that we've been very intentional about spending lots of time with them, doing a lot of team bondings, and they're doing stuff outside of things that I require, and it's led by these 2. It's been great.
What are some of those things that you guys have been doing, Justice and Kalea?
I think as soon as most of the team got on island, we try to get together. We did a team hike. That was really fun. And I think we really bonded from that. Like, outside of soccer, not thinking about like our sport and just letting loose and relaxing and just enjoying each other's time was really fun.
Yeah, and I think holding captain's practices was probably the most fun captain practice that we've had in the past 4 years. And it was really nice to see the incoming freshmen, transfers, show up and just enjoy ourselves before the storm.
Before things got real.
Can you tell us a little bit what that practice would look like? Because coach can't be there, right? What would that look like coming from you guys?
I think it was pretty similar to a practice led by the coaches. I think they had a great influence on us over spring that we could really translate that on our own. And I think we have the mutual respect with the returners as well as the freshmen and transfers coming in. So it was pretty seamless in leading that. Everybody seemed to be on the same page, and we just wanted to get connected and get ready for season. So I think we had our drills planned out, and everybody was willing to just show up and play.
Future coaches?
Yes, maybe.
Yeah.
Coach says yes.
Well, and then I came in one day, and I went up to Connor. I was like, what are they doing? You guys were in the hooky lot. What were you guys doing in there? It looked like a
that was our team bonding.
That was more like an icebreaker kind of.
Yeah, getting to know the incoming and having the incoming get to know us.
Yeah.
Kind of just like mixing each other up, having fun.
Really a judge-free zone.
Yeah,
like,
just having fun.
Yeah, it was song association. So we got a word. Someone gave us a word, and we had 2 teams, and whoever could sing a song with that word affiliated in it won. But you had to sing it, and they did.
I'm so happy I'm not be a part of that.
We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back.
All I know is I walked in and you guys gave me a death stare. Get the heck out. I was like, oh, okay.
You're ruining their performance.
We're locked in.
Obviously.
Locked in always.
And then you guys being seniors, what has been, from all of the seasons, what has been your favorite memory or match from a match so far?
I thought really hard about this. Let's see. I would say definitely our senior night game last year. It was something, I'm super close with a lot of the seniors that graduated, and I was sad going into that game because it was the last game playing with them on our home field, and there was a point in the game where I actually scored a goal, and I think I literally started crying because I was so happy, and just I wanted to do something for that senior group as a send-off, but like also just enjoy my time on the field with them before I couldn't play with them anymore. So I think that was a big moment for the team and for me, and just feeling the love all around, because when we do have those intense games at home, the fans and just the whole environment is really fun to be around.
The fireworks were nice too, yeah.
Yeah, there was a fireworks show. I don't know who did that,
Okay.
but it was a sight.
Yeah, it was definitely. What about you, Kalea?
I think for me, it was my sophomore year. We played Chaminade at home. Chaminade is always a really good game to come watch and play, just because they're our rival, and I think both teams just play with a lot of emotion, and it's a good game. And I think we were tied 0-0 for most of it, and it was especially emotional for me because I just went through something maybe like a couple of days before, and so my emotions were definitely high. But Kayla Frazier, she scored
Shout out
the lone winning goal, and it was just like, I don't know, weight lifted off my shoulders. Even though I wasn't on the field at the time, it was just amazing to see the team come together and just praise her, celebrate the team. And it was just, it's always amazing to beat your rival. So
Of
it
course.
was good.
And going off of this seems like a very competitive group.
Mhm.
So, Coach, I'm going to ask you first. Who do you think is the most competitive girl you have right now?
Ooh, that is tough. I mean, there's more than a handful. If I wouldn't pick myself for one of these two, probably we do have a striker, Lauren, that no matter how tough and good she plays during practice, she has that striker mentality that if she doesn't score, then it hasn't been enough. And so she'll have the best practice, but not maybe he's worrying about that one finish when she's walking off the field, and she shows it, which is totally fine. I love that competitiveness from her and from everybody, honestly. But yeah, if not these two, then probably Lo.
Yeah, I agree.
You guys both agree on that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lauren and also our midfielder Lisette.
Yeah.
I think bringing her last year, you can just tell that she has that I want the ball mentality, and she'll do whatever she can to get it. But yeah, she's strong, she's gritty, she's like she'll get the ball, and that's not someone you want to go 50-50 with.
I'd also add Sarah, our new transfer center back.
Yes.
She's a beast. And
I thought you were talking about Coach Sarah.
Also competitive. Hey,
Anyway,
Coach Sarah and I won a pickleball tournament together, so we were also competitive.
that's very
Shout out.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. Hawaii Pacific University Athletics is sponsored by Pearl at Kalaloa. Nestled within the Kalaloa Ahupua'a, honoring the stories and traditions of the Aina, now with enhanced facilities, premium greens, and a revitalized experience, blending tradition with modern luxury. One more segment left. When we return, we'll look ahead at what's next for HPU women's soccer and preview some key matchups right here on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Wrapping up Sharks Weekly, still joined by Coach Artigue and his two players, Justice and Kalea. Let's look ahead at what's next for HPU women's soccer. But before we do, Paul, I think we have a really important text question that was texted in.
We definitely have a text question that at least helps us lead into what I think we're going to close out with. And shout out to a friend of Sharky, apparently. The question is looking at SDSU. They played a Division II school before they came out here to Hawaii to play you guys as well. They hung 7 goals on Southwest Minnesota State. You could probably say you guys proved yourself defensively, a 2-0 decision there. Your next 3 games are a 3-game road trip. Coach, we'll go to you, and kind of what's your plan for the team to prove themselves offensively now? Earlier in the show, you kind of mentioned, looking forward to scoring that first goal. How does that come to be?
That's a great question, and thank you for the text message, Mr. Sharky friend. We had 4 practices before our first match, and so I knew going into it with that matchup that we had to focus on defense. So we spent all 4 days on defense. And credit to them, offensively with the ball, it was more about showcasing themselves and an evaluation offensively of what is going to work for this group. I have built a massive technical packet and phases of play, and I'm a soccer nerd. I truly love the tactical side of it. And they could probably see how giddy I was at yesterday's training, the first one that we truly got to focus on the offense. It's not an easy offense. There's a lot of rotations, a lot of awareness on the pitch. We're not going to play long ball soccer. What you saw in that first scrimmage was, that first match was kind of based out of necessity. What I want to see from us in these next 3 games on the road is us really coming with our identity of how we're going to play football. And that to me is possession-based, brave on the ball, showcasing our talents. We did an exercise of, they literally wrote down, like, what are they best at? And then it's my job as a coach to fit them into my ideal system, but not make them do things that they're uncomfortable doing, right? And coming up with a strategy, a game plan that can be competitive against lower ranking teams or the best teams, and we're going to be an exciting team to watch, both with how we possess the ball and the multiple ways that we can score goals.
And then for Justice and Kalea, sometimes it can be difficult for anybody to change what they've been used to. How has the adjustment been for you guys? Has there been much of an adjustment from Coach putting you into the spots that he sees best for your talents?
I think I'm in a similar role that I've been on previously. I'm forward, out wide. I feel pretty confident out there, and I think having Connor be so prepared in his tactical work, it really helps us to see his vision, and then it helps us translate that easier onto the field.
Yeah, for me, I've kind of been all over the place the past 4 years. Freshman year started out wide, sophomore year outside back, junior year back out wide / forward, and now I'm in the attacking midfield position. And I feel like this is where I was meant to be at on this team. I think it helps coach know that I can play anywhere, but I think in this position, I could help support and know that I can go box to box and support both offensively and defensively.
So going back to defense, right? I had asked you this off air. How are you incorporating the offense? Because I think South Dakota State had something like 25 shots on you guys, something like that. So obviously, defensively, you guys are there, right? But incorporating that offensive part without forgetting the defensive part, right?
Yeah,
it goes both ways.
It has to, and I think fitness is a big part of it, of how we want to play. We're a high pressing team, and we're gonna put the pressure on the opponent at all times. Even you saw us down 2 goals, and I think in past groups they might have sat back and just like suffered from their how talented they were, but we were still pushing and pressing because we were hungry for that goal. And now how do we incorporate the offense is, I think what's unique about how I want us to play is it's a principle-based offense, right? It's about them making the right decisions and being aware of what the right decision is. And I need to teach them that. It's also a very adaptable system. I mean, we played a formation that we didn't practice once, but it doesn't matter because it's honestly just about the principles. So what's exciting is no team that's going to play us really knows how we're going to set up. They don't know me. They don't know this group. I do an incredible amount of research that we will be a very well-prepared team, and I'm excited to hit these teams in different ways and just be a very exciting and dynamic team going forward.
So what are you guys doing to prepare for Cal Poly before you guys travel up there? Is there anything specific that Cal Poly has that you've been instilling in the girls to get them ready for this next match?
It's a great question. I think for us right now, the focus needs to be truly on ourselves and how we can develop this week. And as we get closer to the match, we'll start to unveil about what their strengths are and maybe their weaknesses and how we can take advantage of those. But really what I want to see from us is a growth in our identity of how we play, and make them adjust to us. That Humble game is going to be tough. It's a massive road trip, right? It's 6-hour flight and then a 5-hour drive. So it's going to be an immediate test of just our togetherness and our culture. And honestly, can we show up on game day ready to roll, and then 2 days later again, and then 2 days later again. But we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. And I guess just this, how are you guys kind of like going off of what Coach Connor just said, how are you guys implementing that into your freshmen?
I think just mentally preparing them, letting them know what to expect so they're not surprised by anything, and just make sure they're comfortable going into road trip, just knowing that it's nothing super crazy. Like, it's typical game day, like, get locked in, but have fun. Like, enjoy what you're doing and just show the talents we already know you have. You know how to play soccer, don't stress about it. Should be a relaxing transition.
Yeah. And what about you, Kalea? How are you helping them kind of transition to that, especially being psychology major, right? How are you taking some of that and kind of helping them ease? Do you find them coming to you more often is what I'm asking.
I do. I think I find them like texting me or asking me questions like, oh, what should I do when this happens? Or how can I better myself in this area? And hopefully I think I'm giving them some good advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, just being there for them and letting them know that like, it's okay. We're going to make mistakes, but we're going to be there for each other and we're going to help each other out and support each other through any tough time or any struggles that they may face. Because I mean, yeah, being a freshman, going to college, and playing soccer, it's a lot, and I don't think they should be handling it alone. So
Yeah. And Coach, how are you using these preseason games to help prep for the Pac West?
Yeah, like we spoke about, the Pac West is a very strong conference. When I arrived here, our schedule was quite small. I don't think we had the test that would prepare us for the Pac West. Now, with the addition of these 3 games and playing 2 Division I teams, I can't wait to get into the Pac West. The rankings came out and we were fairly low, right? And I honestly, that's bulletin board material for me. That I'm going to stare at that ranking every day, and every time we beat a team above us, it's going to feel that much better.
So what is one team that you are most excited to go up against besides Chaminade?
Yeah.
I was like, that's the go-to
I mean,
answer.
there's so many California teams that are strong. Me coming from San Diego the last 2 years, I was pretty close to Point Loma. They are the top dogs right now. So I would no promises, but I cannot wait for that matchup. And I think playing Hilo as well. That's a strong Hawaii team that I think we want to test. Yeah, and they're going to give it to us.
Yeah. That's a wrap on this season's opening edition of Sharks Weekly. Huge thanks to head coach Connor Artigue and seniors Justice Valdez and Kalea Ajel for joining us today. You've been listening to Sharks Weekly, broadcasting live from HPU Esports Arena, powered by DSE Hawaii, right here on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.